Welcome to Base Coverage. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting to the show. Don't forget to subscribe here, drop a comment, like a video, share with a friend. We cover ELF ball and we got to keep this thing going.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. Hit street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out.
Breaking news. Frankfurt, they're having a hell of an offseason. They just pulled off a signing, for an ELF or European All-Star, a guy who's played in the league, running back, Sandro Plomer, leaving his homegrown team in the Raiders, and he is going to play for Frankfurt. Now, two questions I got about this is, how much of an impact is he going to have coming off the injury, and what the hell is going on with the Raiders? This tells me for him to make this move, and I don't know, maybe if it's, because of his practice, but how many more guys would be able to make the move to leave the Raiders? It's his brother coming back. Obviously, they signed, Marco Schneider, but they lost a lot of guys, right? Obviously, everything that happened last year. Top offensive lineman Steven Nelson's also going to the Raiders. Devine Buckingham, going to the Galaxy. Devine Buckingham also leaving the Raiders, going to the Galaxy. Jamalcolm Liggins played for the Raiders 2 years ago, now with the Galaxy. So what is going on with the Raiders? That's one of the big questions in terms of that organization, what they're doing. But there were questions if Sandro would play, coming off the injury, obviously going into his studies, with the medicine. But obviously that question's answered. But Frankfurt, the moves that they have made this offseason, they have one thing in mind, not just to win the championship, but they are trying to finally beat the Ryan Fire. And it's obvious. And obviously, if you want to be a top dog, you got to beat the top dog. So they go out and get a quarterback who they compete with Jadrian Clark and Zach Zaraka. They get a playmaker like Markel Castle on the outside, who actually played well against the Fire when he was on the Ravens. Devine Buckingham, Jamalcolm Liggins. Obviously, you lose Tony Anderson, but you're able to sign some key guys back. And now Sandro Plomer not only helps them in the run game, depending on his, obviously his health, but in the pass game as well. I mean, Frankfurt's doing big things, and this is something we got to watch. Is Frankfurt really real this year? How serious can we take Frankfurt? Because obviously their only losses last year came against the Fire, but this is going to add different dynamics to the season, and they made a lot of big moves, right? And arguably having a great, if not one of the top off seasons in the league. But Sandro Plomer leaves his homegrown team in the Raiders, and he's going to the Frankfurt Galaxy to play for the team out in the West, the first winners of the European League of Football. The dynamic of this league and this offseason has been fun. I feel like a lot of guys are moving different places. I feel like it's going to be a lot more parity, which is something I personally appreciate. But, man, this is huge. Hey, not only subscribe to the channel, but drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. But I had to drop this instant reaction because of how big this news is, how it changes the shift in power, not only with conferences, but with teams and stuff like that. But for someone of that caliber to leave the Raiders and their organization, to feel like it's a better move to try other things elsewhere, man, good for Sandro too. I just spoke to him not too long ago. He didn't mention anything about this, but credit to Sandro. Congrats, brother. And Luke Zaraka, always scheming some stuff. So, man, the Frankfurt Galaxy get running back Sandro Plomer, and he's not even gonna have to be the main guy either there. So that's gonna be interesting to watch this season. And I tell you what, I'm ready for Fire Galaxy already. I wish it came week 1, but it's not. But based on the dynamic, biggest question: has the Frankfurt Galaxy done enough to not only beat the Fire, but to take over the West?
Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it. Hard work, they don't know about it.